Decided to do a series of videos where I'm going to be speaking about on the different series, the 123s, the 126s, 124s, areas of concern where rust develops. So if we go around this side, we've started here at the 500 SE because it's in relatively good condition, and then we'll go to another one of my cars, a 280 SE inside, where it's already progressed a bit. And then into some of the shells in our yard where you can see what develops if it isn't addressed timeously. Okay, so over here, you can see this over here is obviously from washing, and they're not driving the car straight afterwards. So a bit of moisture collects underneath the rubber and it starts rusting there. This car is going in for a respray and having those sort of things sorted out in the next month or two, but I wanted to show you what happens. So it's there. Where else? Another issue is over here. You can't really see it over here because you'd have to open the bonnet, but leaves getting trapped in the channel that runs water down from the roof is a very, very common problem on them. But yeah, specifically on this car there isn't much, but specifically there you can see how it develops. Okay, so now we're inside. This is my 280 SE that's actually going into the body shop tomorrow for rust repairs and a respray, but let's have a look here. Okay, so same story over here. The difference is this wasn't addressed. It's in a slightly different position, but caused by the same thing, and water collecting under this rubber here. So eventually this panel here underneath the window starts corroding away. That's the one thing. The other thing is over here, once again, from water collecting underneath the rubber, that and that. And then from water collecting underneath the light over there. So this is actually very easily solved and preventable just by not parking your car in the garage when it's wet. Take it for a drive after the rain or after you wash it. Just make sure all that water gets out of the rubbers, and it's just going to prevent that sort of problem. Another thing that's pretty common is over here. That's obviously from dust and stuff collecting behind the fender, and that corrodes there and eventually goes underneath. I'll show you in one of the other shells in the yard, goes underneath here and corrodes through the whole boot. Another very, very common problem is, let's have a look here. They all have it. They all have it when they come in. But underneath the battery tray, this we didn't resolve, but will get resolved at the body shop. I've just put something here because I had used this car for, but I didn't want water going in. But this is from not cleaning these leaf traps. So this just rusts away and goes inside and eventually rusts away the whole firewall. So a very, very common problem with them. Okay, so now we're in our yard, and this shell here is a 126. But with everything stripped off, you can actually see the implications of leaving it. So if you have a look over here, I mean, look at the amount of sand and rubbish inside here that's been blocking the drain point that goes down and drains all the water that runs off the roof and down this area here and collects over here. And what happens is it just, because it collects there, if you come a little bit closer, you can actually see that's the inside of the car. So it rusts away through the whole firewall and eventually down the side here, and starts affecting it structurally around this whole pillar. So incredibly important that leaf trap is kept clean. And the battery obviously goes here. The battery tray has long since rusted away in this car, but you need to get that out and make sure that there's nothing there that's going to cause moisture to collect, and make sure that those drains are open. And then if you come around the back, have a look at this. So this is the result of what I showed you on my 500 SE outside, with a bit of moisture collected underneath the rear screen rubber and not getting sorted out. Eventually it just gets like this. And the whole thing here, I mean, look at this. This is obviously an extreme example, but it shows you how it develops as it goes along. Here again, that little bit of rust on my 280 SE over here from sand and stuff collecting. Look at what happens inside. Ultimately, the whole inner fender rusts away, and this whole wheel well in the boot, and on that side as well, it's the same story. Very, very scary. Here you can see as well, without the light in, the moisture that collects under the light. That's what it causes there. Once again, I mean, look at this here. Absolutely shocking. how bad it does get. It's funny, but this car does have a little bit of corrosion over here on the driver's side, but it's far more prevalent on the passenger side, and I think that's just because of the battery tray and because of the not being able to see what's going on underneath it. There again, if you look on let's just go around here again. This over here, this rust on this window frame here is just from moisture collecting behind the rubber. And you can see how that eventually starts infecting the structural integrity of the car by rusting away the A-pillars, which is the last thing you want. But that is what I've found to be the biggest problem areas of 126s, and we can go to any one in our yard. In fact, we will. Let's find another one. Here's another 126 in our yard, and once again, you can see here. Look at that, how that's all covered up. So all of this over here and underneath the battery tray eventually results in this. So this here, you can see the structural integrity of the whole car is compromised when the A-pillar, and that obviously goes inside. And this one isn't particularly bad, this shell, to be fair, but you can see once again it starts over here where the rubber starts, underneath the windscreen again, or rear screen rather. Here you can see the light is actually out, but you can see where moisture would collect underneath the light and cause the rust. And here, same story underneath this. Here's another 126. As it happens, let's have a look at this one. This one, the battery tray actually looks quite nicer. So this you might find has been kept clean. The fender's still on as well, so you can't really see. And this one's actually all right because of that. So just simple maintenance of just making sure that moisture isn't trapped in there for any length of time really prevents the problem. There's one other one I wanted to show you, which is this SEC here. Let's have a look how we can get there. There we go. Okay. So this is a C126, the coupe, same story. Okay, at the mud and stuff that's collected on the fender arch causes that, which causes this on the inside. You know, it actually goes through there and eventually will rust away this whole thing. And look at this window frame here, all the way around, completely corroded. And what eventually happens is it just spreads to here and the whole thing collapses like the other one I showed you. And let's have a look here in front. Okay, on this one you can actually see how bad it is on the driver's side. I mean, you can see right into the cabin there. And on the passenger side, same story. Let's just move this stuff out the way here. Let's have a look here. Look at that. Completely rotten underneath here. Completely rotten. Very easily preventable. Very easily preventable. You just need to, after you wash your car, take it for a drive. Wash it frequently. To make sure that if you live by the coast, salt doesn't collect, or or dust if you're inland. Just using it and making sure that things are caught in time can prevent huge issues like this. Sunroof, another story. There's drains that run down these pillars, the A-pillars. They need to be cleaned. You need to put water there and check that it runs out. If it doesn't, you're just asking for trouble with rust developing all the way down here, and obviously the sunroof as well. I hope that helps. Tomorrow we'll do one for a 123 and a 124 as well.